Okay guys, so let's get started. So I'm going to add some sample data that I collected, and if you guys want to follow along, these are the steps I took to pull this data set. I opened up a web browser and navigated to hub.arcgis.com, and I typed in Weld County parcels. And I select on the parcel data set, and I select a random area, and I click the filter tool, and just so that my map canvas can just select a certain amount of parcels, and I downloaded that to a shapefile. And when you export, make sure that you're selecting the filter data set. Okay, so I navigated to my project file, and here is my parcel sample data set. I add it here, and I'm going to add a background. So here in my browser window, I'm going to expand the XYZ tiles, and I'm going to add Google Satellite. And usually by default it goes up on top of an existing layer you have, so you just have to left click and hold and drag that guy right down below. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and change the symbology just a bit. First of all, I'm going to drag down the opacity just so I can see what's underneath a little bit more. You know, this might be fine. I'll just go with it. And let's see here. So I want to select a parcel, a random parcel, and then select parcels that are within, say, 300 feet from it. So this one looks pretty good right here. So I'm going to make sure that my parcel layer is selected. I'm going to click on the select feature tool, and this little guy right here looks pretty good. What I'm going to do with that is actually make that my subject property. So I'm going to export save selected feature as, not the whole layer again, but this will just do the one selected feature. So again, export save selected feature as. I have two monitors and that popped up on the other side, so I apologize. Okay, so by default the format is ESRI shapefile, and that's what I want. And under file name we want to click these three dots here. That way we could direct it to the folder we want to put the data in. So I'm going to call this file subject. How about subject property? I'm going to click on save. Everything else is fine for this purpose. I do want to add it to my map, so I'll leave that checked and click OK. Here's my subject property. And up here says that the layer was exported successfully. Okay, so to do the buffer, one way to do is use the toolbox. Mine isn't visible right now, but to make it visible, we click on Processing and then Toolbox. Here's our toolbox. So we just type in the search, say buffer. And there's a couple different varieties of buffers you could do, but we'll keep this simple. Click on buffer. The input layer is not the whole layer. Again, this is going to be based on the subject property. We want it to be a distance of 300 feet. And as you can see, there's different units of measurement. Segments, these are, you could just use this as the default number here. They're just talking about the number of line segments and the rounding offsets, but I wouldn't worry about that right now. We just want to have a nice visual of 300 feet. And I'm going to leave everything else as defaulted. And right now it's going to create a temporary layer. If I wanted to save this to my project folder, I could certainly click the three dots and click Save to File and direct to my project file. Okay, so I'll click Run, and it shouldn't take too long. There's my 300-foot buffer. I could double click and maybe bring down the opacity, perhaps even change the color to something a little bit different. Be creative. So here's my buffer, 300 feet from the edges of my subject parcel going out. So let's go ahead and take it a step further. Now say we actually want to select the parcels that are within 300 feet of our subject property. To do that, it actually happens to be right here, select within distance. But just to explain the difference here, the buffer is just purely a graphic to showing you what's 300 feet from it. It's not taking account a selection, anything that's touching this buffer. So again, to do that, we could simply just basically double click this tool right here, which is select within distance. Also, just so you're familiar with, a lot of these tools are up here as well. Under vector research tool, we have select within distance. They're both the same. So we want to select features from our entire parcel data set. By comparing it to the feature from, that would be our subject property. So again, we're selecting from our total parcels and we're comparing it to our subject property. Again, we'll use the 300-foot distance, give it a unit of measurement. We will just create a new selection, that's true, and we'll click run. Now there's going to be a difference here because again we are selecting anything that touches 300 feet, no matter how small, like right here, or how great. So really, like some of these edges are just barely touching, and as long as it touches, it's included. So if we wanted to save out these selected features, we would go back to our parcel layer I should say, and right click, export, save the selected features. So again, not the whole data set, but just the selected features. And say we wanted to save that back in our project folder, and I can say selected parcels. Click on save. Yes, we do want to add that to our map. I click OK, and it's right here. So I could just turn these off. There's my selected parcels. Anyway, so I hope this helps. It's just a couple ways to do a buffer, just a simple distance from a subject property, or if you need to select those parcels or whatever geometry within that distance, you could do the select within distance tool. I hope this helps. By all means, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave that down in the comments. I'll be more happy to respond to you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. I put out videos quite regularly, and I don't want you guys to miss them. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.